Let's look at the types of drama. We're going to look at the meaning of drama and some of the types of drama. For this lesson, these are our objectives. We are to mention the different types of drama, differentiate between the types of drama, explain the features of each type of drama. As you know, we have the three genres of literature. We have poetry, we have prose, and we have drama. We have discussed poetry, we have discussed prose, and today we're looking at drama. Now, what do we mean by drama? Drama is simply a story that is told using dialogue. When we talk about drama, there are certain things that have to be in place. We should have performers, we should have an audience, and then there should be a stage. Okay, so drama is simply a story that is told in dialogue by performers in front of an audience. Now, this story should be told or should be reenacted on a stage by performers in front of an audience. An audience could be one person, two people, three persons, as the case may be. Okay, now drama also includes stage plays. By stage plays, we mean the type of plays that people go to the theater to see. It could include stage plays, that is the one that is written to be performed on a stage for a live audience. Then it could also include screenplays, scripts for films. Now, when we talk about screenplays, we are looking at the ones that are performed in front of a camera that will be made into a film, sold out, the copies of which will be sold out for people to view or watch. Now we're going to look at some types of drama. Our focus for this lesson today will be comedy, tragedy, tragic comedy, farce, and melodrama. Let's look at comedy. Comedy is simply a kind of drama which amuses the audience and ends in a happy tone. It strives to evoke or provoke laughter. It strives to make the audience happy. It strives to make people laugh. Most times people watch comedies just to, take away their stress, just to ease off tension and all that. There are different types of comedy, including the screenplays that we watch on TV. Those are also forms of comedy. They're also types of comedy. An example of comedy, written comedy, is the one we have by William Shakespeare, that's The Tempest. We are going to look at different types of comedy. The first is comedy of manners. What do we mean by comedy of manners? This is a type of comedy which seeks to ridicule people who go against the social norms and traditions or the order of the society. Every society has its own traditions, has its own norms, its own system of beliefs. Now, any type of comedy that seeks to address all these things, just to ridicule people when they go against societal norms, societal traditions, such is called comedy of manners. Comedy of manners deals with the traditions, relations, and intrigues of people in a given society. There are different examples of comedy of manners. For example, we have Love's Labour's Last, and Much Ado About Nothing, all by William Shakespeare. Now, if you look on the screen, we also have a picture there which says Blithe Spirit. Now, this is another example of comedy of manners. It's a movie, and I would enjoin you to go watch it. You will love it. Another one is romantic comedy. Romantic comedy is a type of comedy which deals with love affairs that involve a beautiful and idealized central female character. Yes, all those kind of movies where you have Romeo and Juliet. Well, Romeo and Juliet is not a comedy, but such movies where you have a beautiful female character that is involved in a love affair with another male character, such that their love goes through tough times, and at the end of the day, it ends in a happy way. Such is a romantic comedy. Whenever we talk about drama or comedy, we also attribute it to William Shakespeare. So an example of romantic comedy would be Midsummer's Night's Dream by William Shakespeare. So in that comedy, or in that drama, you'll see some characters who go through hard times, who go through difficult times, especially by their parents. And at the end of the day, their love took preeminence. So I enjoin you to read A Midsummer's Night's Dream, but however, it is written in Old English. So if you're going to read A Midsummer's Night's Dream, I enjoin you to go for the abridged version, which has some interpretations. Let's look at another type of comedy. This is satiric comedy. When we talk about satire, satire also seeks to ridicule the principles and doctrines of a society. Any literary work that is considered a satire or a satire is done such that it ridicules the society, it ridicules maybe a character, a significant person in the society, brings out the ills of the society. It ridicules the ills of the society just to correct, it ridicules the society just to correct societal ills. So any comedy that does that, in any drama that does that in a comic way, is considered a satiric comedy. One great actor that we know is Charlie Chaplin. Charlie Chaplin is a comic actor. If you look at your screen, you'll see a picture that shows Charlie Chaplin in the comedy called The Great Dictator. Now, this is an example of satiric comedy because it ridicules the standards of the society. It ridicules people who violate the standards of society and try as much as possible to correct them. Now, this ridiculing is done in a bid to correct, in a bid to address those ills in the society. It's not just to ridicule and leave it there. It ridicules and then seeks to correct the ills of the society. Now, let's look at another form of, or another type of drama, which is called tragedy. Tragedy is a form of drama which ends in a sad tone. In tragedy, we have a leading character who is considered a hero. This character is admired in his society, and this character usually has a tragic flaw that usually brings him down. So such character is involved in a situation that may arouse sympathy or pity from the audience. According to Aristotle, the purpose of tragedy is to arouse feelings of pity and fear, and as a result produces in the audience what is called catharsis. Catharsis in drama or tragedy is called purging. Is referred to, or is known as purgation of emotions. That is when the audience feels pity or sympathy for the leading character or the hero in the comedy, in the tragedy rather. They purge their emotions. They feel sometimes they could cry, sometimes they could, just do some oohs and ahs. Is called catharsis. Now we are going to look at the features of tragedy. In tragedy usually involves events that lead to the downfall of the main character. For example, in the tragedy, the gods are not to blame. We have the leading character. Okay, let me use another example. Oedipus Rex. We have the leading character as Oedipus. Oedipus is a Greek tragedy. We have the leading character who is Oedipus. Oedipus never knew that he had Oedipus had a tragic flaw. It was his tragic flaw that led to his downfall. In drama, such tragic flaw is also called hubris or pride. He had this fault in him that led to his downfall. Oedipus was a king, but little did he know that what his society was suffering from, he was the one that caused it. So, as you know, as I already mentioned, in tragedy, we have a character who is admired by the society. Remember, in the story of Oedipus, Oedipus was a king. So he was a king who was admired by his subjects. Now, it happened that his society or his kingdom was going through a plague, Little did he know that he was the cause of the plague. It was later revealed to him that many years ago that he killed his father. So the resultant effect of killing his father without knowing was what caused the problem in his kingdom. So the second one is that the main character can be an average person, but is often a person of great significance, like a king or a heroic figure. At the beginning of the story, Oedipus was not a king. It was when he was able to defeat the Sphinx in the story that he was made the king, because the Sphinx was troubling his village. So it was said that whoever would be able, the Sphinx made a promise that whoever would be able to answer his question would free the village from being plagued by the Sphinx. So Oedipus was able to do that. It answered the riddles of the Sphinx, and at the end of the day, Oedipus was made the king. Later on, there were some events that led to the downfall of Oedipus. The next one is that it has a tragic ending. It usually ends in a catastrophe for the main character. Now, Oedipus was a man who was known to stand by his words. So Oedipus made a decree that whoever was the cause of the problem in his village would be ostracized. When it was later revealed to him that he was the cause, he had to ostracize himself. So the next one is that the cause of the tragedy can be a weakness or flaw in the main character or an evil in the society. Yes, so in this case, we have Oedipus. Oedipus killed his father. When he killed his father, he didn't know that it was his father that he killed. There were certain events that happened when Oedipus was born that made him not to know that it was his father that he killed. So that weakness, that particular thing that he did in the past without realizing it, was what led to the evil in his society and eventually led to his downfall. The next feature is that it is written to cause the audience to pity and then to think about the weakness or flaw, their own weakness or flaw. So when tragedy is written, tragedy is done so that people could reflect on their own weaknesses. Usually, the playwrights of tragedies come up with characters that look like human beings, characters that have our own human weaknesses. So they are formed in a bid to make the audience reflect on their own weaknesses, reflect on their own flaws. We are looking at the next type of drama. We have the tragic comedy. Tragic comedy is a drama which has both the qualities of tragedy and comedy. So what it means is that it begins with a tragic plot but ends in a happy tone, or it has a happy ending. The actions of tragic comedy appears to be leading to a catastrophe until it has an unexpected turn of events, which usually forms an abrupt happy ending and changes everything. Another example of drama or type of drama is farce. Farce is a humorous play in which the characters make silly mistakes meant to make people laugh. Its action and events deviate from reality. Some people argue that farce is a type of comedy. This is true. Farce is intended to make people laugh. Now, the actions of the characters in farce are usually exaggerated in such a way that it is far from reality. Those are actions that cannot happen in real life. But then, the characters in the comedy or the characters in the drama perform those actions so that people would laugh and then be happy. If you also look at Papa Ajasco, it's an example of farce because the actions in Papa Ajasco are usually exaggerated. Some of the events in Papa Ajasco may not be realistic, but they are exaggerated so that people will laugh. The melodrama. A melodrama is a play that is full of exciting, sensational actions or events and in which the characters and emotions appear too exaggerated to be real. Now, in the case of melodrama, we have some of the movies that we see, especially American movies, where the actions are too exaggerated, and then they appeal to your emotions. They make you feel emotional. Sometimes you see that the main character in the story undergoes certain experiences that will make you, the audience, to feel pity for him or to feel emotional towards this character. And then at the end of the day, such character will emerge successful, maybe outshine or outdo his enemies, and at the end of the day, it ends in a happy way. So the actions in melodrama are usually exaggerated. For example, you could see an actor flying, defying the law of gravity. That is melodramatic. You could see in a movie where a car is moving in the air. These are exaggerated actions. Okay. Now we are going to look at the elements of drama. When we talk about elements of drama, we are looking at certain devices that are very important in staging drama or in staging a play. For a drama, we also talk about character, we talk about plot, we talk about setting, we talk about theme. Now, these things I mentioned have already been discussed when we had our discussion in prose. When we talked about prose, remember we said that prose involves characters. Prose also tells a story, and in telling a story, there has to be characters. There has to be a setting, there has to be a theme, there has to be conflicts. Now, these elements are also applicable in drama. Every dramatic work should have a setting. As we already know, setting is the geographical location where actions in a literary work take place. Then characters are the persons involved in a literary work, be it prose or drama. Then there should be a theme, that is the central message. As you already know, every literary work should have a message that it's trying to pass across. Then there should be conflict. Conflict is the problem which arises as the story unfolds, as the events unfold. There has to be that conflict between the main character and other forces in the story. So it could be conflict between the main character and other characters, that is antagonist and protagonist, that's protagonist and antagonist. Conflicts between the main character and forces of nature. So these are all parts of elements of drama. But in this discussion, we are going to look at other elements which have not been previously mentioned in our previous discussions. So we are looking at stage. If you look at the picture on your screen, you see that we have a stage and we have an audience. Every drama, every dramatic work or play must be reenacted. Every story that is told in dialogue form must be reenacted on a stage. There has to be a platform where the story will be told, where actors and actresses will perform, where people will perform. Depending on whatever form the drama takes, whatever form that the drama may take, there should be a stage for that reenactment. So the stage is very important in drama presentation. A platform, the stage is a platform usually in theater where actors and actresses and dancers perform. A stage is otherwise described as a physical representation of the world of the play. So stages could be designed to represent the setting, a particular setting, the geographical location of the story. For example, a story that is told, a drama that is presented on a stage could have the setting of maybe the village or market setting. Now, in such drama, in such play, the stage will be designed in a way that it shows or it reflects a market scene. So the stage can be changed. It can be made to look what the playwright, what the actors, or what the people involved want it to look like. The stage can be anything. Anywhere a drama is reenacted is a stage. A stage may not necessarily be that particular elevated platform where people come, where people stand to dramatize. If people gather and then there is a platform, anywhere it is, that could be said to be the stage of such drama. It must not necessarily be in a theater. It could be anywhere. It could be outside. It could be indoors. It could be anywhere. So wherever actors are reenacting the story, such place is called a stage. It could be seen to be a stage. Now, for a drama to take place, there has to be an audience. The audience would be there. For the drama to take place successfully, there must be an audience. The audience are there to view and then to critique. The success of the drama or the play lies in the hands of the actors and the audience. Without an audience, there wouldn't be any drama, there wouldn't be any stage play, there wouldn't be a stage performance. So the audience are very, very important, or is very, very important. The audience is a group of people watching a performance of a play on stage. Then we have dialogue. Dialogue is the conversation between the characters or actors or actresses in a play or drama. Dialogue is also found in other literary works like poetry or prose. Yes, but that's a different type of dialogue. When we look at dialogue in drama, we are looking at that conversation when two characters are talking, maybe even three characters, when they take turns to speak. Such is called dialogue. Okay, then the next one is act. In every drama, there has to be a major division. In prose is divided into paragraphs and chapters. Now, what chapter is to a prose work is what act is to drama work or drama. Act is a major division in the action of plays. Just as the novel has chapters, so also a play has acts. Then acts are further divided into scenes. Scene is a continuous section of action in an unchanged locality. So, for example, we have an act. We have Act 1, Scene 1. Act 1, Scene 1 could mean the part of a story that is told in the morning, scene 1. Then the scene could be the locality, the geographical location where the actions take place in that morning. A story may be divided into morning, afternoon, and night. For example, in the drama by Wole Soyinka, The Lion and the Jewel, it has 3 major divisions: morning, afternoon, night. Now, those 3 major divisions could be likened to be the acts of the play. That is, Act 1, Act 2, and Act 3. All the actions that took place in the morning took place at maybe different locations or different settings. Now, each setting in one act is the actions in one act may take place in different locations or in different settings. So, for example, if you have Act 1, there could be different actions. There could be actions that took place in Sidi's house. There could be actions that took place in Lakunle's house. There could be actions that took place in Baroka's house, all in the morning. So we can have scene 1 of Act 1, scene 2 of Act 1, scene 3 of Act 1. Whenever the location changes, then we go to a different scene. So the scene, the difference between the act and scene is that the scene is just a geographical location within the act. So whenever there's a change in setting, then it means that the scene has changed. Then we have scene 2. So the scene is a continuous section of action in an unchanged locality. So the locality could be Port Harcourt, but different places in Port Harcourt. Simply put, a scene is a logical unit into which an action is divided. I hope that's understood. Now let's go to comic relief. Everyone needs comic relief, don't we all? Sometimes you go through a difficult experience and then you need something to just help you ease off. Same thing happens in drama. So when we talk about comic relief in drama, comic relief is usually a humorous scene or funny incident or speech in a serious drama. Sometimes some tragedy dramas have comic relief. There's usually that part of a tragedy where there is a funny incident or there's a humorous scene, there's an injection of humor. The playwright injects humor so as to ease the tension. Because in tragedy, usually the tension is heightened. People are usually on the edge. They want to know what happens next. So comic relief comes there or is injected to, reduce or provide emotional relief to the tension. Then we have what is called denouement as an element of drama. If you recall, when we were talking about elements of prose, we mentioned resolution, and I said that resolution is also called denouement in drama. Denouement is actually a French word which also means resolution. Denouement is simply the turning points in the life or actions of the protagonist as the play unfolds. Denouement is that part of the story where things are gradually unfolding, where things are gradually taking shape, concluding part of the story. Denouement is also called resolution. It's known as resolution in prose works. So that's all for elements of drama. That's all we have for types of drama. Okay, you're welcome to the exam guide. As you already know, the exam guide is our platform where we have a series of past questions on every subject. For our subjects, for our own subject area, we're going to look at some questions, random questions, which are related to the topic we have just treated. As you already know, all you have to do when you get to this place, you go select your subject, as I've done. Select your subject, go to the year. You either select any particular year of your choice or you go to random. Pick random, Then you go to topics of interest. For our own topic, we are looking at literary terms and figures of speech. General literary terms, you click on OK, and then you get started. We're going to go through these questions and look for questions that are related to the topic we have just concluded. The first question says, a character whose actions or qualities served to heighten those of the hero through contrast is. Well, this question is not part of what we just discussed, but we can still answer this question. The answer to this question is foil. The next question, drama is meant to A, educate and entertain, B, criticize, C, be read and acted only, D, teach manners only. The answer to this question is educate and entertain. We go to another one. So, the major genres of literature are prose, drama, poetry. There you go. Catharsis is normally associated with what? Comedy, tragedy, farce, pantomime. There you go, the answer is tragedy. Catharsis is usually found in tragedy. Take note of that. Then the next one is a humorous scene in a play intended to ease tension is comic relief. Any literary work which holds up society to ridicule is satire. I explained that. Thank you for participating in today's class. You can practice more questions using the ExamGuide app. The app scores and gives a detailed explanation of all the questions at the end of your practice test. You can learn a particular topic of interest with different modes like study mode, mock mode, and practice mode. It also has other features that make learning fun. It is a must-have for all serious students. Download it from www.examguide.com if you don't have it yet. See you in the next class. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, hit the notification bell, and share the videos to people that will benefit from it. Bye!